So my presentation will be on supporting organ donors and blood donations. According to Donate a Life Foundation statistics done in April 2018, shows that 8,000 people die each year because the organs they need are not donated in time. That's 22 people each day and almost one person each hour. What if you were one of the thousands of people on the transplant wait list? There are many people who are aware of the organ donations. In the article, An Investigation to Mature Adults' Attitudinal Reluctance to Register as Organ Donors, published by Clinical Transplantation in 2016, it states that although the need for organ donation in the United States is well documented, less than half of the American adults are registered organ and tissue donors. We've all come across a moment, or soon will, where we will need to determine if we want to become organ donors. We've come across information when we've been waiting for hours at the DMV and are already frustrated with just being there. There's not enough information given to us before we make an important decision. We aren't just accepting to terms. Our answers can potentially save the lives of many people. For those of us who are already organ donors, are we doing enough just by being registered? We need to spread this valuable information to influence others to make a change in their life. My dad needed a kidney when he was 15, and I learned the significance that one's decision can have. An organ donor saved my dad's life, and I've always tried my best to educate my peers about becoming an organ donor. I've been doing research for this topic, and I have always volunteered for the Donate a Life Foundation. Everyone should register to become an organ and frequent blood donor and help spread awareness of both. First, we will learn how there are more people on the waiting list to receive an organ than there are on the donor side. Then I will show you how signing up to become an organ and blood donor can improve the lives of many, including yourself. Finally, I'll walk you through the steps on how to become an organ and blood donor. It's important to understand how organ failure can happen to anyone, and every year more people are being added to the list to receive an organ. Not anyone can just join a list to sign up to receive an organ donation. There are certain qualifications that people must meet in order to be eligible to receive an organ. In order to be eligible, the receiving person must have an organ that is failing or close to failure. There are several organs that can be transplanted, which consist of the liver, kidney, pancreas, the heart, the lung, intestines, and other composite allografts, which is like face and hand transplant. We have the lung and, as we know, blood as well. No one thinks that organ failure will happen to them, but unfortunately many people are affected by this. A statistic found from DLA Donor Designation Report, which was updated on January 16, 2019, shows that 95% of U.S. adults support organ donation, but only 58% are actually signed up as donors. If we're not actually signing up to become donors, we're not making any difference. People need to actually sign up to be the change that they want to see. The article, Attitudes Towards Organ Donation Among Waitlisted Transplant Patients, results of a cross-sectional survey published by Wiley Clinical Transplantation on August 30th, 2016, state that over 100,000 patients are listed for transplant and more than 7,000 deaths occur annually while on the wait list. Evidently, this choice impacts the lives of many others, not just ours. Although everyone can register to become an organ donor, not everyone is able to donate blood. A study from the Community Blood Center shows that only 37% of our country's population is eligible to give blood, and less than 10% of those who can donate blood do it annually. You can actually make a change and give the gift of life by donating blood. Now that I showed you the basis of organ transplants and blood transfusions and recipients, I will show you how signing up and staying a registered organ and blood donor can improve the lives of many others, including yourself. Many people don't understand the type of impact that becoming an organ and blood donor has on someone's life. By signing up to become an organ donor, you are giving a chance for others to continue to live. Think about it. You are able to make a difference in someone's life even after you're gone. I understand the thought of that can be terrifying, but that shouldn't be a reason to not become a donor. In the article Benefits and Harms to Organ Donors by Shimwitz and Sade, published in November 8, 2015, it states that grieving families of organ donors benefit by having a positive outcome in the face of loss, a benefit that most people would want for their families in the event of their death. It shows that even by becoming an organ donor, families take comfort in the action of still being able to help others after their loved one is gone. The great thing about being a blood donor is that you can do it while you're still alive. Blood can't be received from anyone but donors, so it's our moral responsibility to donate blood if we're able to. In a study done by the Red Cross organization, 13.6 million whole blood and red blood cells are collected in the US a year. But how many lives can one donor save? In the article 5 Benefits of Organ Donation published by Florida Today on April 8, 2015, it shows that a single donor can save up to 8 lives. By also donating tissues and eyes, the same donor can improve up to 50 lives. People of all ages can sign up to become a donor, so it's never too late to decide if you want to register to become an organ donor. People who are already registered to become a donor are already making a difference by increasing the chances for someone to live. Same with blood donations. Every single blood donations count. Blood transfusions are needed for more than we can expect. According to the American Cancer Society, about 1.7 million people who are expected to be diagnosed with cancer in 2000. According to the American Cancer Society, about 1.7 million people are expected to be diagnosed with cancer in 2017. What if you or a loved one needed a blood transfusion? That's why it is crucial that we are doing all that we can to help save a life. It is possible to even do a living donation for certain organ donations. So as we can also see that donating blood, a pint of blood, can save up to 3 lives. Now that we've learned how there are more people on the waiting list than the donor side and how becoming a donor can benefit the lives of many people, I'll show you that you don't have to be deceased to become an organ donor. Although a majority of organ donations come from deceased donors, there are many cases where there are living donations. The thought of death scares many people, and maybe that's the reason why people don't like to think about becoming an organ donor, because the question of what if comes up. But becoming an organ donor doesn't mean you have to be declared brain dead in order for someone to receive your organs. Statistics done by the United Network for Organ Sharing show that in 2018 there were 6,849 living donor transplants. If we look at the statistics starting from 2014, we can see that every year the number from living donor transplants have increased. Becoming a living donor will also remove candidates from the national transplant waiting list. As of 2012, data from the Organ Procurement and Transplantation Network show that most people waiting for a deceased donor kidney will wait at least 3 years, while half of all liver candidates will wait longer than 2.5 years. Those of us who are already organ donors have the ability to change someone's life by sacrificing a part of your organ and have a direct impact on the national waiting list. If you feel that you can't become a living donor, then that's okay, but we must continue spreading our influence to society. You now have all the information to determine if saving a life is something that you want to register for. By becoming an organ and blood donor, you can save the lives of many people. We've learned how there are more people on the waiting list than on the donor side, how becoming a donor can benefit the lives of many people, and how you can become a living donor. There are many people who are in need of organ donations due to organ failure. Will you be someone who contributes to the change? If becoming an organ or blood donor is something you would like to register for, then you can register at organdonor.gov, or you can register to give blood at redcrossblood.org. Thank you.